What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Episode 3, Season 2. Real excited to record this episode. This is, I'm going to bring on our next guest, who is our new addition to the Navy Wrestling Club, new athlete / coach, new staff member, new member of the team. Look, guys, this was one of the goals that we had is when we kicked off the spring fundraising campaign was we're looking for a new hire. We're looking to bring on an additional member to the club, another X factor that can, help boost the program and take the Navy wrestling team to the next level. And, we did that. We raised enough money in the first, 10 weeks of the campaign season for us. And we were able to hire an absolute stud. And I'm really excited to bring on our next guest and introduce him and have a really good conversation with him. Just, not only for myself to get to know him better, but for you guys to get introduced to him. And I know he's going to be a great addition to the team, to the staff. And I know the dudes on the team are going to absolutely love working with this guy. He's a extremely hard worker. He's got a resume, that fills a couple pages, and just the mentality of this guy and the way that he approaches the sport and life is going to be a huge asset to the club and to each guy that he gets to work with on the team. So without further ado, I'm just gonna read some of his accolades here, and then I'm gonna bring him on, and we're gonna kick the show. But like I said, this is all because of you guys. This is because you guys donated and contributed to a program that you obviously care about, and you guys believe in the vision that Coach Colat shares, that the board of the Navy Wrestling Club shares, and then obviously myself. So thank you to everybody that chipped in and to help make this hire possible. And I'm confident that as we've been preaching over the last 12 months since I got here, is we're gonna jump levels in the next couple seasons. And I know this guy's excited to be a part of that journey. So a little bit about the new RTC Navy Wrestling Club hire. He is a 5-time Fargo All-American. He was a Fargo champion, a 2-time Illinois state champion. He's a 29 Pan Am champion in freestyle, a 2019 U20 World Team member in Greco. In 2024 at the Olympic Trials, he took 3rd place, so national team member during the Olympic year. He was a national team member in 2023. He was a world team member. And then in 2024, he wrestled in the NWCA All-Star Classic. He's taken place at Big Tens. He's taken 3rd place twice at the Big Ten tournament, and he's a 5-time NCAA qualifier at the Division I level. Without further ado, welcome to the Navy Wrestling Club, ZAC BRAUNAGEL. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Completely butchered your resume there. I even practiced.
Oh, it's okay.
ZAC, obviously, I don't know you like super well, but gotten to converse with you over the last couple months. But many of the guys or, the people who listen to this and follow the Navy wrestling team may not know you. So I'd like to just first start off with you telling us a little bit about your upbringing, how you found wrestling. And yeah, we'll roll from there.
Well, I grew up right outside St. Louis, so I mean, Navy's boy, Josh Coderhunt. Me and him grew up. We were on the same team, same club team growing up. He's my little brother's age, and so we grew up wrestling on the same club, same area. Our whole childhood, we went to 2 different high schools, but so I've known Josh for a very long time. So I'm from the same area, St. Louis area. Wrestled at Althoff Catholic High School, which is about a mile down the street from him. And then went to Illinois. I've been in Illinois the last 7 years because with COVID and a couple red shirts, it really extended my college career. So, it's just me. I have 3 brothers, 2 of them are in the military. So my older brother's a Marine. My younger brother is in the Army. Actually, he just got back from deployment. He was deployed all last year. And so he'll have 2 more years at Illinois. Graduated here with my twin brother, Danny. Um, and, I'm just excited to get out to Annapolis. The past year or so, I've been talking with my coaches here, and I've been praying for, what a change, something different. And what that looked like, I had no idea. I was
Yeah.
looking for just something different. It was kind of just getting real stagnant, here where I'm at. I didn't know what that change would be, whether it's just getting out of college and, starting my, or I guess continuing my senior career, whether it was moving, whether, I didn't know what it would look like. And so this opportunity came about. I was hanging out with Josh after he All-American this past year. We're hanging out, and Coach Kolak came up, and we started talking about it. And pretty soon I went out there, checked it out, and loved it as soon as I got there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fun place to be. I've been out there a little bit, but went out there for a couple of days on a visit. Went out there a couple of weeks ago for about a week to start moving in, check out the place a little bit. I love the town. It's pretty cool. It's a cool place. The people I met were great.
Yeah.
The coaches, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I feel like I kind of fit in well with you guys. I, immediately clicked and started messing around with you guys. And I've been living with Quinn. Quinn's awesome. Barry's awesome. I love messing with Barry. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for a change. I'm excited for the next step. And I'm excited for like the first time in my life, I'll be able to like move away and do something, alone, like for myself. And what I mean by that is I have a twin brother, Danny. So everything I've done my whole life has been with him, right next to him by his side. Me and my two brothers, my little brother got back from deployment. Has been living on my couch for the last couple of months. But me and my twin brother, we live together here with my dog, who's right next to me. And so I'm excited for like a change. I don't know, looking for a lot of growth out of it. Figure it out for myself, kind of thing. Which it's a new challenge, which I like. So I'm real excited to get out there and get started. So
yeah, I know. Quinn's excited to have a roomie.
a roomie
Before. Yeah, roomie his age, yeah, for sure. Before we dive into like Navy stuff, I really want to talk more about you, like, Illinois guy, and then you go to the University of Illinois. Maybe talk a little bit about. Well, first of all, back up even further. 5-time Fargo All-American and champion. Was the champion? Did you win in Greco or freestyle?
So my senior year, me and my brother, we kind of were like, we were training together. We came up here that summer to start training and stuff. And there was a couple guys that were freshmen as well, that were incoming freshmen that came up here to start training early. And we also started summer school early too. So we were training for it. And me and my brother were kind of just like nudging each other the whole time, training together. And like, like seeing, like we always have that sibling rivalry. So who's going to do better? Who's going to do better? And I kind of had a brain fart, I think in the quarters, maybe. I wrestled a guy named Jackson Turley. And I think he beat me. It was like 15-12 or something like that. I was down like 8-0, 9-0 at one point. And I started coming back, but it was, too late. And so I ended up taking third then, but Danny won it. Danny ran a gauntlet and just protect his way through the tournament. Beat everybody up pretty good. I think he beat Jared Brannick in the finals. I think he ended up teching him. And so then he like came up to me afterward, and I'm like, I'm not upset anymore about losing. I take third, and he's like nudging me like, oh, I got you this time. And so, I told him like, I'm not going to let you, like, I can't let him beat me. The sibling rivalry. So the next tournament was Greco, and we both wrestled Greco, and he actually only wrestled Greco because I was. He was never like a real Greco guy. Even when he made national team the Olympic year as well, and he just did it because I was doing it.
Okay.
So I won it in Greco, that tournament, which, funny story about that, I got kicked out of the tournament first round. They said I punched a kid in the face. And my coaches raised hell. They were not having it. They were super upset. And they got me off the mat and they protested it. And Coach Medlin, he took it to the head ref, said, hey, watch this match. I don't want to say anything. You watch this match and you make the call. while he watched it, he said he thought it was BS because the kid kept headbutting me and stuff. And I like clubbed him pretty hard just to get him to stop because we had said something a couple times. And and I ended up getting reinstated, and then I went on to.
And then you won the tournament.
Yeah.
So this was your going into your senior year.
That was my last year at Fargo. Yeah.
Or no, okay, so after senior year. Okay. Wow, wild. So okay, fast forward, you're going to Illinois. What was that like? Was that an easy decision for you? You know, like, I mean, you had a long collegiate career, but it probably feels like yesterday when you were getting recruited. So maybe talk a little bit about that. Like, were you always going to go to U of I, or was that, were you juggling a couple options? Like,
no, actually, for me and my brother, we wanted to go to the same place. Mm-hmm. And a couple of coaches would reach out, but they only wanted one of us. So we were like, hey, we're not interested. Okay. But most of the coaches wanted both of us. With twins, it's more of like a 2-for-1 kind of deal. At least for us, it was, because we have a really close family. But it wasn't like Illinois the whole time. We actually didn't even think about going to Illinois. They were really late in the recruiting process for us. They started talking to us a couple months after or before we committed. So we weren't talking to them very long, but it seemed like all like the pieces kind of fell into place for us because the now head coach Mike Poeta, he had just taken the job as an assistant coach. I think our senior year, and then a couple months later, they hired a new director of ops, which is Coach Brian Medlin, who I've worked with very closely for probably the last 10 years. And so, Coach Medlin, like I said, we were pretty close with him, and he got the job, and we texted him, hey, Coach, congrats, because he was a high school coach before then, and he was Team Illinois coach for Fargo every year, and we would go up and train with them, and then come back home like their weekend stuff. And so he took the job, and so we texted him, congrats, and his first message back was, thanks, love hearing from you guys. Now my next job is getting my favorite middleweight and his twin brother to come to Illinois. And we're like, oh, okay. And and then we started talking. Coach Jim Heffernan, who was the head coach when we first got here, he retired when we were here right after COVID. Yeah. He came down, watched a few practices, recruiting wise, talked with our coach home, Pat McNamara, and Josh Harper. And then we went up on a visit, and it was awesome. We loved it. It wasn't anything super flashy. They didn't like juice it up for us, anything. They kind of we hung out with some of the guys, we went fishing, we had dinner. It kind of felt right. So we committed on the visit there.
What were some of the other schools you may have been like talking to though, like before that?
Before that, we were really high on NC State. And then just with recruiting, they ended up recruiting over us. So we are like, all right, that sucks. Next option. When Coach Colott was at Campbell, I believe, he was recruiting us really hard. We actually had a visit there, I think, 2 weekends later after the Illinois visit, but we committed, so we ended up not going on it. Yeah. But we were pretty high on Coach Colott then too. He came out and did a home visit with us, and one of our teammates, Chase Biddle, he went to go see, who's also really close with Josh. Okay. And so like I think our visits were Old Dominion. They had a coach there who is from our area. He was in high school when we were like real little kids, and so he used to run camps for us. So his name's Daryl Thomas. And then our next visit was Purdue, and then Illinois, and then Michigan State was supposed to be next, and then Campbell with Coach Colott. So those were the ones that we were talking to the most. Different schools were reached out a little bit when we were getting recruited, but no, it didn't feel right with those ones. So yep,
that's awesome. So what was I guess I'll ask you this. You've had a bit of time since March um, to reflect on what, a great collegiate folk style career, like how would you summarize that, like pretty quickly, now that you've had a lot of time to like reflect? I know, you talked about earlier about you're excited to move on, like you're excited to get to Annapolis, you're excited to start working on your senior level stuff. Coming from a guy who's 10 years removed from collegiate, I still think about it every day though, so like how would you summarize your experience, wearing the University of Illinois singlet?
I would say it's a little bittersweet. I obviously didn't achieve the goal that I wanted to, the goals that I wanted. I wanted to, I wanted to be, several time All-American. I wanted to win it. That obviously didn't happen. So looking back on it, that part kind of sucks. But the way I handled myself, the way I wrestled, I had several good years here. So I can hold my head high with my career. Obviously, didn't reach the goal. So that part's always going to sting. So like you said, it's been 10 years removed and you still think about it. I'm sure I'm still going to think about it for a long time. But at the same time, there's more to life than wrestling. And so, I'm happy with what I did here. I'm happy with how I held myself. I'm happy with the way I competed. I feel like I kind of earned the reputation of, the guy that's going to go. He has a lot of heart.
Yeah.
I won numerous matches late against like really good competitors. And so, I don't ever think I was ever outmatched in my college career. I've had some bad matches, I will say, but um, throughout my time here, I wouldn't change a lot.
Yeah.
I tried to live the right way. I try to do a lot of the right things. Um, but yeah, like that one part's going to stick with me of not getting that All American. Um, and so it sucks. But then again, folk style is my third favorite style. So I like freestyle and Greco way more. Every time I've done it, I've done very well in the freestyle and Greco. So like 2019, I was on the world team for Greco. I was in the finals for freestyle, so I ended up going to Pan Am's. Um, I think I lost to Trent Hidley, I believe. Um, and then since then, it's kind of been back and forth. It's kind of hard to do two tournaments now when there's freestyle and Greco going on at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not 18 anymore. It's really hard to do that. So I got to pick one. And I think my style just goes very well with Greco. So
Yeah.
that's literally the only reason I do Greco is just because I think my style works better for it. And I find
Yeah.
a lot of success in it, especially in the United States. And so, I have one goal right now, and it's be on the Olympic team and hopefully get an Olympic medal in 28.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy to get out to Annapolis and start training for that and start working towards that goal. I think, it has all the tools for me to do it there too. Um, so, I'm really happy to, with the college career, but I'm also really excited to start the international wrestling. So
Well, I'm
hopefully,
excited.
time.
I'm excited to get another Greco guy over there because everybody
Yeah.
teams up on me for
I
not being.
always get that even in like the folk style stuff is I get like he's the Greco guy, but it's like I don't know if you watch me wrestle Greco, I'm not the flashy Greco guy. I'm not the big. I'm not gonna bomb you. Hopefully one day maybe I'll start working on it, but I'm not the guy that's gonna go out and just bomb everybody on their heads. I'm not the guy that's gonna hit some flashy moves. I'm stay on the wrist, arm drags. Kind of I like to grind out a lot of matches. I feel like that's my style to win. And I do a lot of folk style in my Greco.
Yeah.
So like 2023, my first match at Worlds, I wrestled a guy from a country I can't pronounce, and I had to get a takedown towards the end to win it. And it was really hard to open him up. So it's like in my head, it's just resort back to what I know. So I collar tied him and I faked the high crotch and snapped him down and grabbed the front headlock and went with it. And it was one of those like head pinches that could have went either way, and they ended up giving me 4 for it. And I go on, and move on in the tournament. And then first round at Olympic trials, same thing against a guy named Ben Provisor.
Yeah.
I faked either collar tied and just faked the high crotch on him, kind of buckled his knees a little bit, pulled the front headlock, and just kind of pressured forward, sat him to his butt, and just covered. And that was my takedown to win that match too. So I still do a lot of folk style in my Greco, and I do a lot of Greco in my folk style too. So I'm happy to I feel like I can bring that to the staff at Navy and help some of the guys learn how to transition between upper body to lower body stuff. I feel like I'm pretty good at that, and I feel like I can if there's anywhere I can fit in on this staff, I feel like it's that of taking some upper body stuff and attacking lower body or lower body, they're defending it, okay, attack upper body. So I'm excited to get out there and help with that stuff too.
No, I think what you just said, and that's a great transition to stuff, but transition to the next part of the conversation. But no, I think you hit the nail on the head there. The Navy wrestling style is exactly what you just described. We're gonna outwork you. We're not gonna pull in these flashy, the top recruits in the country. We're grinders, and it's all hard out there, and learning how to hand fight, learning how to synchronize your hands and feet and chaining things together off of a hard-nosed grinding wrestling style like that. That's Navy wrestling in a nutshell. And I know that your experience and skill, your repertoire will definitely boost some dudes to the next level. Which I'm excited. I'm excited to be part of your journey, your competition journey, but then also to see the levels and the gains that you're gonna add to the staff. Your perspective and your experience is huge. Actually, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit again here. So obviously at the University of Illinois, you're in the Big Ten. Did you ever when you were there think about how cool that was? I think the Big Ten's now is on a different level compared to a lot of the other conferences. In a lot of ways, the Big Ten tournament is the national tournament, if not harder sometimes.
Yeah, I think in my bracket at Big Tens, I think he ended up getting injured, but national finalist, I think he took 6th. And the national champ got 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it like competing in the Big Ten? And I don't just mean the tournament, the conference tournament. I mean the whole thing, the dual season.
It's brutal. So I think one thing guys don't realize when you wrestle in the Big Ten is that I think my last 3 years competing for the team, everybody that I wrestled from Midlands, so Midlands semis and on, they everybody except maybe 1 or 2 were top 20, top 15 guys in the country. So every match is you have to be on or they're going to give it to you. And there's a couple times this season when I wasn't on and you saw it. Yeah, it's just brutal and it's long and it's Big Ten season, Big Ten dual season. It's 6 weeks, 7 weeks, however long it is, of just nonstop. It's traveling. It's keeping your weight down. It's trying to fit in schoolwork while cutting weight, which that always sucks.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a nonstop grind. So we are the Big Ten schedule is Friday, Sunday duels. So we would fly. Say we're away weekend. We'd fly out to Rutgers. We'd wrestle Rutgers and then Maryland. Or there was one time where we wrestled Penn State out there, and then we had to drive back all day. We had to drive back starting right after the duel, and try to get back for our duel at home on Sunday against Indiana. And we got back, and we had bus troubles. And so we stopped at Ohio State, worked out in their room to cut weight and get weight off. And we got home from that because of the bus troubles. We got home at 4 a.m. the day of the duel at noon or we had weigh-ins at noon. We got home at 4 a.m. And me and my brother, we were still overweight. That was when I was making 84, and we had to go cut weight at 4 a.m., go home and sleep for like 3-4 hours, get up and go check our weight, weigh in, wrestle at 1. And so like the Big Ten season's brutal. It's all on top of each other. It's only Friday, Sunday. So like that first part of the week is always nice, but we always have usually would have Monday off because we'd have a Sunday duel. And then the rest of it was, you have your hard practice Tuesday, Wednesday, you dial it back a little bit, still pretty hard. Thursday, cut weight. Friday, you're competing. Saturday, just getting your weight off. Sunday, you're competing again and repeat. So, so it's brutal sometimes, and it's a grind. Towards the end of the year, Coach Jim Heffernan, my head coach, when I first got, he had a saying of the best guy doesn't always win in the Big Ten. It's the toughest guy. So I think that's one thing that you take from it is the toughest guy is going to win. Yeah. And sink or swim. So you figure it out. But the past couple of years, it's been a little bit better. As a coaching staff here at Illinois, they did a really good job at helping us peak towards the end of the year this year. I believe we had a top 10 finish this year at nationals. Mm-hmm. We got 4th or 5th at Big Tens this year as a team. We had a really solid tournament. A lot of guys upset guys, me and my brother included. And we peaked at the right time. So it's just a lot of figuring it out and a lot of puzzle pieces you got to put in the right place. But
yeah, no, you're spot on. I mean, finding peaking is no easy task, and then adding the layer of competition that you guys are involving yourself in with the big. Yeah, like you said, like you're wrestling a top 10 dude every weekend, at least one.
Well, I mean, my 2 seasons ago, my last year at 184, I ended up taking 3rd at Big Tens. I went into Big Tens as the 12 seed, and
wow.
I ended up losing first round. You wrestle back and ended up taking 3rd, beat a bunch of good guys. I think I beat Caleb Romero for 3rd. But that year there was 1 or 2 upsets in the bracket. All 14 guys from the Big Tens were at nationals. Everybody in the Big Ten at 184 was in the bracket. We were half the bracket at nationals. So, it's brutal. And I think my weight every year had 10 guys go at least. So yeah, it's definitely a grind. It's brutal, but also, you go into the Big Ten, there's a reason you want to go to the Big Ten. You want that kind of competition. And I love that kind of competition. It makes it more fun for me, that kind of competition. So,
well, as a guy who didn't go and compete in the Big Ten, I hated how many bids that you guys got. I was like, oh, this dude's just got to weigh in. Like I beat that guy during the season, but he just has to make weight. But it's also like
we get that a lot, and then you got guys like I remember Max Lyon that year 184. Max Lyon, I believe he took like 11th or 12th at Big Tens,
and then he All-American.
No, he was around a 12, lost in overtime. I think he lost in overtime. I'm not sure, but he was around a 12 that year. Or like Josh Barr this year, I think he took 6. Like I said, he did get injured, but he got 6th at Big Tens, national finalist. Or the other end, I took 3rd, I lose in the blood round. I took 3rd, I lose in the round of 16.
Right. Right.
Or Isaiah Salazar, All-American last year, took 4th at Big Tens this year. And I don't want to,
Yeah, you're not belittling it,
but like 0-2, so it's like it's hit or miss. Camden McDaniel from Nebraska is freshman this year. I think he took 5th at Big Tens and All-American this year. So,
no, I get it, dude. It's all over the place. Like you said, it's not necessarily the better guy, it's the tougher guy, and
a lot of it's placement too.
True.
So, but yeah, it's brutal all season. It sucks. And you wrestle the same guys over and over. You see them everywhere. So,
yeah. Makes it tough. Yeah, you guys took as a team took 10th. You were only a point behind Northern Iowa. So yeah, top 10 finish for the Fighting Illini. There you go. Which hopefully we will find ourselves in the next couple years here. How crazy would that be?
So. That would be awesome.
Service Academy in the top 10, that'd be legendary. That's the goal, man. Now that we're talking about Navy stuff, what was your impression? I know you had a match against David Key at some point in your life, but
I guess.
What was? Yeah, we'll talk. Let's go. Did you even know anything about the Naval Academy or service academies? Like, what was your impression of Navy before your pre-visit this spring?
I actually got recruited by Navy a little bit out of high school.
Okay.
So I knew a little bit. I didn't know if I wanted to go into the military yet or not. Honestly, if I went back and redid it, I probably would, just because my dad was in the Navy. My older brother's a Marine. My little brother's in the Army. So I think if I went back, it's something I would have considered a lot more. But at the time, I was so focused on just wrestling. And so, I don't know. So my impression of Navy, though, was just like, they're just tough guys. They're tough guys. I thought it was a lot more military focused. And after talking to some of the guys, it actually does seem like it's just like going to another school during the year. Like, obviously you have other obligations and stuff you have to worry about. And then over the summer you have to do your training and stuff. But, it's a lot more, it's a lot more similar than I thought it would be to just going like Illinois. So I talked to Josh a little bit about it too. So, but yeah, I wrestled David Key, right?
Yeah.
I wrestled him. I didn't know who he was. I had seen he had some good wins during the season, but I wrestled him at Nationals one year. I think it was my first year at Nationals. And he's actually he beat me. He's the guy that put me out of the tournament. I kept shooting under him, and he kept sprawling on me, and it was I can't. I had shoulder surgery like a week later. I just couldn't pull a leg in to save my life there and there, and so that's on me because I was being an idiot and just shooting under him, and he had heavy hits, and I knew that. But yeah, he's good. He was tough, and then since like I started talking to Navy, I started watching some more of the matches, and there's a lot of tough guys there. Wrestled with Wask a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got some good stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah, my impression of them was, though, that they're the tough guys. They're going to go out there and grit it out. It's going to be a fight.
What did you mentioned the staff, you mentioned the town of Annapolis, and I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but I think I remember calling you post visit and you were like, yeah, I loved it. Like, I thought it was way cooler than what I thought it was going to be like. So like, obviously you took something away from that experience when you came down and hung out for a couple days that resonated with you, and you're like, yes, like this is where I want to go. This is where I see myself growing for the next couple of years, or however long that you choose to stay with us. So like, maybe talk a little bit about that.
Well, so like I said, we started talking a little bit. I started talking with Coach Colot a little bit, like right after Nationals, because I didn't know what my plan was. Illinois, like I never thought I was going to leave Illinois. And the coaches, I would talk to them, but it was more like, hey, let's focus on the tournament and we'll talk about it afterwards. Like, okay, that makes sense. Let's do it. And then after that, it was, I was working towards making a world team because this year for Greco, it was the U.S. Open. So it was 3 weeks later. So then it was like, hey, I don't want to talk about it right now. I want to focus on this. And so, I think my visit out there was like the week after the Open. And that's kind of when I was just starting to talk to Illinois a little bit too about what it would look like for me staying here, what it would look like for me and my brother. And I took my visit out to Navy, and like, I hate to say it like this, but I wasn't like fully considering it. But also, like everybody I was talking to, it was keep your options open. You don't know if you'll like it, you don't know if you'll hate it, but keep your options open. And like I said, I never thought I was going to leave Illinois. But I said I mentioned it earlier. I've been praying for a while about a change, what it would look like. I didn't know. I got out there and it was awesome. It was very different than the Midwest. Grew up in the Midwest. Never I've always lived in Illinois. I've obviously seen lots of parts of the world. Um, with my traveling and stuff, I've seen a lot of the country. And I got out there, and at first it was it was just a normal place. I had been out the area a little bit because we would dual Maryland every year. I think it's like a half hour from there, right?
Yeah, we're close to University of Maryland.
So like I've been in the area, kind of,
Yeah.
a little bit, but it never for very long. Always wrestling related. And I got out there, and it was so different from Illinois that it was just like, wow, this place is kind of sick. You walk right off campus, and it's like a boat town. There's it's called like Ego Alley right there.
Yeah, Ego Alley.
Where they roll in on these big yachts, and I watched a guy pull in on a 3-story yacht with his family. They got off, got ice cream across the street, and then got back on and left. It's like, you didn't have to do that. You could have done that anywhere. Well, you didn't get ice cream right here. So, but like that is like I never see that, and it was cool. I like the area, like right outside campus. Is it called campus there?
We call it the Yard.
Right outside the Yard. It's like a small town feel, but it's packed. There's so many people. But it's like a small town feel, and then you go to the other side of town, and it's kind of like a big town. You go around. It's got everything you need. So it's cool. Yeah, I liked it. There's a lot to do out there, a lot more than Illinois. If I want to go, to the beach, I can go to the beach. If I want to go in the mountains, which I'd probably go to more, I can go to the mountains. It's not too far away.
Yeah.
So, and then there's just a lot of stuff to do in the area. So, it was like, I don't know how to describe it. That feeling you get, you've like, man, I really like it. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And then right after my visit there, I went on a little trip with my older brother. So I flew down to North Carolina where he's at. And we did a little road trip. And I just remember that whole road trip, I couldn't stop talking about it.
Oh, yeah?
Like, it was
That's
like,
awesome.
this place was sick. And I kept talking about it. And he just like, I remember we were at a stoplight. And he looks back. He goes, dude, you're going there. I was like, we'll see. But yeah, ended up, it felt like the right decision, right change, and the next step in my career. So, I love the area. I mean, I'm actually really excited to get out there pretty soon. So,
well, I know, we alluded to Quinn. Quinn's been keeping me updated with all of your like roommate additions. You got the couch. You're just slowly like sending furniture.
I'm getting the bed frame from Ben. He just left it in his garage for me. So when I get out there, I'm going to grab that and put it in my room. I got this like memory foam couch thing. It just ships in like a box like this big. You roll it out and it just rises. So I got that, because my brothers, they want to come out and visit too. So it's big enough to where you pull like the cushions off, lay it in front, and it's like a big bed. I got my TV set up. I got my gaming monitor set up for when I don't have anything to do, just go play some games. I'm already ready to go. It's all out there.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks out. So yeah, you're gonna do the camp in the springs, early August, and then you'll drive straight. You're gonna drive from Colorado, or what do you?
No. Being on Team USA has its perks. They buy me my flights. So I'll fly back to St. Louis, and I'll get the rest of my stuff packed in my car, and then I'll drive from St. Louis out there. So yeah, I don't know what day yet I'm getting out there. I'm thinking like right around the 20th. Probably in between the 20th and 24th, somewhere in there. I don't know what days exactly those are, but right in there is when I'll be out there for sure. That's the plan. So
20th, 24th. Sorry, I wanted to see what the calendar. I know school starts around that time. Not that that's bad. But yeah, dude, like I said, we're excited to get you out. And I think it's fun for me, one, because you're a Greco guy.
Yeah.
You make watching you and seeing you compete is going to make me want to get back in there.
Get the shoes back on.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see. Every day I'm humbled and reminded why I have stopped. But and Danny Wask is a big reason for that. But watching you compete and hopefully taking you on some trips is gonna make me want to lace it back up too. But it's no secret that the Navy wrestling team and the program means a lot to me. So the fact that the RTC and the Navy Wrestling Club is expanding and growing, adding great dudes like yourself to the program, like it just gets me more and more excited about the future of the program. And, I hope and I pray and we'll continue to work hard to gain 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more ZAC BRAUNAGELs to the staff, to the point where we're, like I said, the Navy wrestling team in itself is going to turn into this, nationally recognized program where we get tough dudes and we place in the top 10. And
that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I know you keep saying like, oh, I'm happy to get the Greco guy, which I am. I do compete Greco, but I was talking to Colat too, and like I do like I do still want to do a couple freestyle tournaments.
I know.
Like I still want to, like I still have a lot of fun, grabbing legs. So, and that's another big reason I wanted to go out to Navy is because I wanted to stay around like a college program, rather than just like going out to like the Olympic Training Center and doing Greco full time. Like a lot of my Greco is folk style so. Staying around that and doing that, like I still have a lot of fun with that as well. So I do see at least a couple freestyle tournaments in my future as well, just for fun.
Yeah, good.
Here and there. So, so I could still, roll around and I won't just Greco the guys when I wrestle with them. I should be able to like wrestle with them. And when I was out there, I was going over, a series that I go through and like one of my go-to series. I was showing it to like Ben and I think you and a couple other guys. So I still got a few tricks, not just Greco.
I wasn't trying to isolate you to box you in there.
You're good. You're good.
You were a much better wrestler and athlete than I ever was or will be. So no. Look, man, the Greco dudes got to stick together. We gotta stay as a team here. So when we go into the office and I start getting attacked for not grabbing legs, then it's good to know that I have somebody bigger and stronger than anybody else in the office, minus Blaze, to back me up.
I know where you're coming from. I get it all the time. I'll go out to these Greco camps out in Colorado Springs, and I'll just like, me and Joe Rao, the same way. Joe's a college coach too. He was coaching at Northwestern for the last couple of years, and we were going to Greco practice. We would look at each other. It's like, let's just start messing around, and we would just start like scrambling and passing ankles and stuff like that, and just having fun with it, And like that's my big thing is I like to have fun when I train. You just keep it lighthearted, get the work in, but keep it fun too. So. Whatever. We used to do this drill. We were training for Worlds in 23. And I would go up to Chicago and I would stay on his couch with him. And and it's like 2 hours from here. So I would go up and just sleep on his couch and train with him for a couple of days. And we would train Greco for like 30, 40 minutes. And then we're like, all right, let's do something fun. And we would put like 10 minutes on the clock. It'd be a 10-minute like live go, but each minute you would switch styles. All styles. So the first minute Greco, second minute freestyle, third minute folk style, fourth minute WWE, fifth minute reverse wrestling. Which
WWE.
There's a video somewhere of me RKOing him.
Joe.
The 6th minute was reverse wrestling. So you have to wrestle on your back and turn the guy over to his stomach. The 7th minute was like Sambo or something. Like we would just make stuff up just to keep it lighthearted and have fun. But at the same time, it's like even like the reverse wrestling, like we said, you're learning, I picked up something literally from that I used in folk style of like, if we're in a scramble and I'm on my back, it's like, oh, I need to get off my back. You know, I figured out where to put my hands to then I can like scoot my hips out and flip them over. And now I'm on top of the guy.
Yeah.
So like you pick up like random things when you don't even think it. And so
Yeah.
like me and Joe are always keeping it light like that. But every time
That's
we
crazy.
pick up something new.
That's
So,
crazy. And, you know, you're obviously younger than I am, but Joe's been in the like Greco scene for like Joe's my age.
yeah.
So he was on the national team with me.
Joe was one of my first Greco coaches.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, but it's so funny to hear you tell these personal stories about Joe because he would do that stuff like at the national team camps, which I guess is like to you that's not a surprise. But it's like it was always like this thing that it was always like, all right, what's Joe doing now? Like stay focused, buddy. Like we're doing this thing, we're drilling this, you know, and he's doing his own thing and just yucking it up, having a great time, which is part of his charm, you know, like and probably why he's been able to compete for as long as he has because it's fun to him. The chow with Rao thing, like man, we would go on trips with Joe all the time, and he was the way that he just like, you know, like in the Marine Corps when we would travel, it was like we were booking flights or tickets like weeks in advance, like getting our itineraries lined up. And like we're in Russia one time, and Joe's supposed to go with us to Helsinki and then to Sweden, whatever, for follow-on tournaments. And it's like 4 hours before the train leaves, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like I need a ticket, like." What'd you guys do? You know, like he just like shows up and he's there and he, you know.
We were in Serbia for Worlds, and I like texting Joe because like we had talked about it, like, oh, this is gonna be our off day for the week. But I was like, hey, are you gonna do anything? You go on like a jog, a walk, or something? Hey, let's go watch a movie or something because there's like a movie theater at the mall down the street. I'm like, hey, let's go watch a movie or something. He goes, oh, I'm in Prague. I was like, what? He took a train like 3-4 hours away. He just went and walked around that city all day, and then was back that night. And then we were training again the next day. Like he's been a big mentor for me in all this, you know, with the senior level stuff, with even college because he was at Illinois for a little bit in RTC. He's been a pretty, you know, big mentor. You know, my decision to come out here, I called him a couple times. You know, got his take on it. So, you know, he's been a big part of my wrestling career. He's one of my great friends in the sport, one of my best friends. I call him, we talk a lot. So, but yeah, everybody loves Joe. Dude, that dude can get along with anybody. He's crazy. You never know what he's going to do. When we're on trips together, he'll grab me, be like, hey, let's go. I'm like, all right. You know, I trust him. He's been all over the place. He's figured his way around everywhere. All right, let's go. I don't know where we're going, but I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So what you say he left Northwestern? What's he doing now?
I think he's moving out to Colorado.
Okay. So
he lived out there last year for the Olympic year, took some time away from Northwestern to chase the Olympic dream. Went back and coached this year. But I think, you know, he loved it out in Colorado. And I do believe he's moving out there, but I'm not 100% sure or not.
But he's not done competing.
I don't think so.
No.
He hasn't said he is to me. He's getting I think he's, you know, getting something fixed soon. I don't know what the deal is. Not 100% sure. But he is out in Colorado, or will be at least when I'm out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's his next goal, you know, his next avenue. But yeah, I do believe he's leaving Northwestern.
Okay.
I talked to him too. I told him he's got to come out and train in Annapolis a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
He was
I mean,
so
yeah, that'd be awesome to get him out here. Yeah, and like you kind of alluded to earlier when you were talking about how you guys trained, like the dude can wrestle all styles. Like he's a freak when it comes to every like freestyle and folk style. Like yeah, I don't care what style you're wrestling. You put Joe Rao in a front headlock, he's gonna launch you or turn you and whatever. So you know.
There's two guys that I've wrestled in my career that is like, dude, I don't know what to do to them. Yeah. And Joe Rao and Ed Ruth.
Well, Joe's like, he's just like this guy, you like this unassuming guy you could walk down the street, walk past him and be like, that guy. Like
you wouldn't think anything of it. Yeah.
No athletic bone in that dude's body. But then he grabs you, and it's like, oh, snap. I have no control right now.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like I'll get like a 2-on-1 on him, and I'm just like trying to push him out of bounds, and he'll just step in and just like reach around me and just pop his hips, and I'm just in the air. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
How
what
did you
happened?
do that?
Yeah.
Like, what? How do I defend that? What did you do? Like, I don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
So it's always stuff like that. But man, he's awesome. I love that guy. Great dude. He's been a mentor for me for the last 10 years. Because like I said, he was one of my first like Greco and freestyle coaches. He was coaching Team Illinois when I first started doing all that. So, going from him being my coach to him being my training partner to both of us making a world team together, it was pretty awesome. So, yeah, that dude's awesome.
All right, so excuse me. We're getting towards the end of July now. You're coming out after, so you got a camp in the springs. You're going to come out to Navy. I'm looking at your schedule you sent me. I'm looking at it thinking, obviously no pressure here. This is obviously editable footage, but when are we going to see you compete? We got the World Championships at Zagreb this year in September. There's another team camp in October. The Bill Farrell is like the next thing on the national team schedule in November. Is that something you want to do?
Yeah, I almost did that in my Olympic race shirt. Actually, I don't think they had it that year. But yeah, no, I was actually just talking to my dad, I think, about the Bill Farrell and competing in that. So I would 100% look forward to competing in that. I know, I think it was me. I think you were there and Coach Jay Antonelli.
Yeah.
We had talked about some other opportunities. Like he loves that tournament over in like Sweden, I think.
Yeah.
And he was talking about another tournament over there. I can't remember those names to save my life. I gotta get better at
well,
that.
I got it in front of me. The Haparanda Cup. Yeah. Jay has taken me and the Marines out there I went out there 2 or 3 times. So he's very familiar with that one. And that would be that tournament's cool. You're pretty much at the North Pole, dude. And it's like 3 hours of daylight.
Yeah. No, I've been up there. I was up in Finland for a training camp in the summer, and it was 22 hours daylight, and it was just brutal. But yeah, we had talked about that. So he said that was a possibility, and I was all for it. I love to compete, so whenever it is, I just like obviously just know in advance and be like, yeah, I'll go compete. I don't care really when it is or where it is. I like to wrestle, so. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, we'll obviously work out the details, but that would be a fun one to go on.
Yeah, I got a buddy that wrestles for Team Sweden too. So.
Oh yeah, what's his name? What's that dude's name?
Nicholas.
Yeah, little guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Nick, I don't know, is it Olin or something? Is his last name? I don't know how to say it.
I don't remember his last name, but he would. He was probably in middle school and he was competing on these senior level tournaments and beating dudes. So like I know he's probably a freak now.
He's a stud. Yeah, I think he's taking a little break right now too. I talk to him almost every day. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, no, we're. I wouldn't say we're the closest, but we're boys. So that's cool. We've talked about.
He's got to come train with us. Come get him out here.
That's what I was about to say. Is we talked about him coming and training here, or me going out there and training at his club, and we've talked about different things like that. So, him and then EXO from Norway.
Yeah, that dude's a freak too.
The stud. He just beat USA at the Budapest tournament. So he's a stud. U23 world champ. He's good. But he actually has family down in Georgia.
Yeah.
So we talked about him. Like I talked to him about coming and training with me wherever it's at, and then going and seeing his family for a little bit, coming back and training, and then going home. So there's possibilities. There's a lot of them. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'm excited to get you back over to the East Coast, and we can work out all this stuff. And it all comes down to like, and I know you get this. I'm just reiterating. I'm just kicking a dead horse here at this point, but like the club exists to give back to the team, to give back to the program. Having you as a guy who wants to continue to compete is like a bonus. And it's only going to make the program better. So Zach, we're at 55 minutes here. Is there anything else you wanted to bring to light? I feel like we got a good taste of who you are and what brought you here. And I know we're going to be talking to you a lot more on this thing. But yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No. I mean, I think we hit it all. I just want to say thanks to everybody who helped put this together, who helped get me out there. I love it. I appreciate the support. Hopefully I can do enough, make you guys proud. I hope you guys enjoy seeing where this takes us. I hope to make a big impact on the coaching staff and with the team. I got along with a bunch of them when I met them, so I'm happy about that. I'm excited just to get out there and get to work and just start being finally being a part of the program and not being like the new guy coming in. So I'm excited for it, and I'm ready. So
it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. I know family is important to you. So yeah, get your brothers out. Obviously tell them to bring their shoes. We'll get them on the mat.
Yeah. I told Danny, whenever you want, come out. That's like that couch we talked about. That's the reason I got that. Just so I can my older brother, the Marine, he wants to come up and visit the area a little bit. Danny wants to come out, meet some guys, train with me a little bit. I'd love to have him. JoJo will be a little bit harder. He's in college still, so he's got a little bit more of a schedule he's got to follow, and he's still finishing up school and stuff, so it'd be tough. My parents are going to come out there as soon as I get out there too. I think they're going to be a couple days behind me just because of work and stuff. But they're going to come out, see the area. I think my mom has an uncle pretty close. My grandpa lives about 2 hours away. So yeah, it'll be cool. They're going to be out there, as much as possible. So, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm sure they will. As highly as you talk about family, I know they will be. And
it's easy for me to hang out with my family. Me and my brothers, we get online and we like I said, I got my gaming set up out there already. That's literally I only got into gaming because my little brother got deployed last year, and that was our way to hang out with him was we get on and play games. And now me, my three brothers, and another buddy who's also a Marine, he's out in Arizona. His name's Carmen Nudo. We literally just get on almost every night whenever we don't have something going on, and we'll just play for like 2 hours and just we'll just talk trash to each other, mess with each other. We'll talk to each other about what happened that day. Like that's our way of hanging out. So I'll still be in touch, hanging out with them virtually, in this new world. But it'll be a little bit easier because we'll do that every night. So
yeah,
it won't be too bad. It won't be too hard.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time tonight. I know we keep saying we're excited to get you out, but I'm just gonna keep saying it. I know everybody that follows the Navy Wrestling Club is excited to meet you as well. I'm gonna keep reiterating this over the next couple weeks and months, but we got our blue and gold competition. Can you hear that sound? Is the sound doing that on your end?
Oh, it is. I just picked up my phone to see if that was it, but it's not it.
Let me try something. How's that?
It's still there. We're right at the end, so it's all good.
Yeah. I think it was my mic. I just unplugged it. I don't know what the deal is, but you still hear it?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's not as bad.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep reiterating it over the next couple weeks and months, but we got our blue and gold match coming up. in October 24th. It's going to be a fun time. Zach will be there. You'll get to meet, a lot of the alumni that come in. This is like our inter squad duel. I'm sure you guys do something similar. But it's a great time and a good opportunity for a lot of alumni to come back and support the program. So come meet Zach at Blue and Gold's October 24th. More details to follow regarding and, auction for that weekend. Hopefully I can figure out the mic, whatever's going on next time. But, all right. Thanks, Zach.
All right.